think what Violet's trying to say is, what will they think of next is scuba diving simulator. You know what they say, Violet? Realism is everything. We've also got an A to Z of computers on this week's programme. Our main review is Super Bomberman on the SNES.
And I'll be looking inside the biggest computer we've ever had on Bad Influence.
Good, he's gone. Specially designed for those who long to go diving but don't want to get wet, Oceans Below for the PC takes you on an underwater voyage of all the world's most interesting diving locations. So you start off on this map, you can go anywhere you want. Let's check out the Caribbean.
Let's look at a more detailed map so you can select an area to explore.
OK, so here we are. Let's check out Cozumel. That sounds pretty exotic.
We're now in Cozumel.
Good, because that's where I want to be. All these icons along the bottom here let you do different things. If I click on the binoculars, it'll give me more information about Cozumel.
Caressing the northeast tip of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula.
Well, if it's caressing the northwest tip of Mexico, I definitely want to go there. So let's go in for a dive. You get all these movie sequences whenever you dive down or come up again, and they're all different depending on where you're diving. OK, so now we're on the seabed, and this little pointer turns into glasses whenever you can look more closely at something. Let's check out the fish.
Long live the queen angelfish.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Long live the queen angelfish. What's a statue?
You don't see a bronze statue of Christ every day underwater.
Nope, you don't. Don't. What's this over here?
Don't worry. Airplanes don't fall out of the sky in Cozumel.
On the box, it says that this is the closest thing you'll get to diving without getting wet. But personally, I think I'd rather get wet.
Would you? No sooner said than done, Violet! No sooner said than done!
Oh, hello, Furtlers. I was having a really strange dream that I was in the middle of a cheat when I woke up. Sorry, Furtlers, just grabbing 40 winks. I was having this really strange dream that I was in the middle of a cheat when I woke up. It was for Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. Anyway, here it is. On the title screen, simply hold down B and select, and you can start the game giving Kirby a maximum of up to 9 lives. There you go. Hey, right. Oh, hello, Furtlers. What a weird dream.
This little chap is the star of our main review this week, aren't you? Oh, yes. It's Super Bomberman on the SNES. You get trapped in a variety of mazes, don't you? Oh, yes. And to escape, he has to plant bombs and blow up everyone else before they blow up him, don't you? Oh, yes. You look so sweet, though. Hey, who's doing the review?
It's Aisha. There are 2 ways to play this game. This one's in single mode against the computer. Isn't really the best way to play it, though. This is level 6 of the single-player mode. The idea of it is to kill the enemies and then go on to the next level. Just collected a power-up which allows me to cross over the yellow blockages. You can collect a range of power-ups. I've just bombed a wall that'll kill these enemies. Some of the enemies are harder to kill than the others, such as this yellow one at the top which takes 2 bombs. This is really the best way to play it. You can use 4 players altogether and the game really comes into its own. It gets a bit hectic at times though. The idea of it is to bomb each other, and someone's just killed me, and the one who's left at the end wins. In order to play 4 players though, you need a special piece of equipment called the multi-tap. The graphics and gameplay are pretty simple, but it's very playable. In fact, it's seriously addictive.
This is a brilliant conversion from an old Amiga classic.
This is an excellent game and brilliant fun to play.
And so the final scores for Super Bomberman, the girls gave it an enthusiastic 4 out of 5, and the boys gave it an explosive 5 out of 5.
You can never be sure with the weather, can you? Even here in the studio, they say there's a 1% chance of rain. You want to watch it, Violet, with your luck, you'll be in the 1% zone. Now to this week's report from Z, the latest from his part of the planet, Boston in the States, where he's on top of a weather station.
The weather is the hardest thing to forecast because the wind, clouds, and atmosphere together make a very complex system. You need enormous computing power to make all the necessary calculations to work out what's happening now, never mind what's going to happen in the future. One of the world leaders in developing computers for use in weather forecasting is a company called Thinking Machines. This awesome beast is the most powerful machine they make here, and it's called the CM5. It costs a cool $30 million and is a parallel computer. Ordinary computers have only one processor that can only handle one calculation at a time. So if you had a small home computer, it would take you over 5 years to work out tomorrow's weather forecast. But a parallel computer has thousands of processors, so it can do thousands of calculations at the same time, and so it's much faster. Each of these processors is 100 times more powerful than a home computer, and there are over 1,000 of them in here. Weather forecasters develop models of the weather system. They divide the air up into shapes like this, or more complicated ones. The computer then takes a look at what's happening to the moisture and wind in each block of air, based on information gathered from satellites and weather stations. The two main factors which affect the weather are the temperature and the activity of the ocean and the atmosphere above it. The simulation models are tested using real data. Even with a big computer like this, the problem is deciding what information to simplify and what to leave out. It'll be a while yet before they have all the answers. What I can tell you with 100% confidence is that tomorrow's weather will be overcast with slight rain. Now what else uses up lots and lots of memory and processing power? You guessed it, computer graphics. Carl Sims is a graphic artist who helps thinking machines, and in return gets the chance to use their computers for developing his art. Carl has called his concept artificial evolution, where you tell the computer which kinds of images you like, and it does more of them, trying to improve.
We can just keep going, and it can potentially get more complicated and more interesting. Sometimes it will do something crazy and make it completely different, and sometimes it will do something subtle and just make a slight change. But it's completely unpredictable, and I couldn't tell you why exactly that was gray, or even why these pictures look the way they do.
You can choose two of your favorite images and tell the computer to morph and animate between them. Carl's most recent work is a combination of state-of-the-art techniques in artificial evolution called liquid cells.
Hello again, Scrotty Footless. I've built my very own supercomputer. But unlike any other Scrotty supercomputers you may have seen on this programme, I've made mine entirely out of tiny, miniature components. And this is it. I call it the Small Parallel Operations Transputer, or SPOT for short. I can program it by inserting my finger into this orifice. I think I'll ask you for a cheat for Prince of Persia on the SNES. So here we go. Prince of Persia. Ow, ow, on the SNES. Ow. Now, once it's calculated the cheat, I can access it by doing this.
On the code screen, enter H8J12 plus Y, and you'll be whisked to the end level with 15 potions ready to do battle with the Grand Vizier.
So that's H8J12 plus Y, yes, and we get to the final level, yes, with 15 potions. Hey, great! Oh no, the supercomputer, it's fallen off. It must have gone right inside.
The square root of 42 is 6.4807. 465 divided by 7.9 is 58.860. The population of China is 1,083,889,000.
And now for some more games reviews. Burning Rubber is yet another race game for the Amiga. This time you're whizzing around roads in Europe and the United States. Simple enough? Over to Ian.
This is a very basic game with no redeeming features. The graphics are very poor and the car handles very badly, no matter which one you choose. You get this really odd view out of the car. You're looking out of your front window and you see your own car in front of you. This is the Barcelona track. After a while of watching it, the banding on the road made me feel sick, and it's really obvious that the road is moving instead of the car. The background is absolutely pathetic. There's nothing in it. There's no detail on the game, and the obstructions are really unrealistic. Nowhere in the world has these lumps of rock on it. The car looks like a cardboard cutout. It's got no perspective whatsoever. Can't see the point of this game. There are loads of good race games on every system, and this has nothing new to offer.
I think I'm being more than generous giving it 1 out of 5. The graphics are rubbish and there's no playability.
The graphics are poor and it's no fun to play.
And the scores for Burning Rubber, not good, I'm afraid. The girls gave it 2 out of 5, and the boys a dreadful 1 out of 5.
Thunderhawk is a 3D helicopter simulator for the Mega CD. You're part of a crack combat assault team whose job it is to defuse crisis situations around the world. Here's Lakesh at the controls of the AH-73M Thunderhawk.
This game's been around in the Amiga for a couple of years now, and it's been revamped and restyled for the Mega CD, and it looks better than ever. The aim in this level is to destroy all the pirates in the South China Seas. I have to destroy gunboats. As you can see, the graphics are excellent, as is the sound. However, due to the limited amount of colours, sometimes it's hard to see where your targets are. The sound is telling you in which direction to go. It warns you if you're going off course. There's many missions in this game, about 50 in all. You have very many different targets. You have to destroy gunboats, tanks, communication centres, even the odd aeroplane. It's fast, it's playable. It's the best game yet for the Mega CD. Unmissable.
I love the music, and the graphics are fantastic. It's worth getting a Mega CD for.
It's a heroic game with brilliant music and amazing scrolling. It's great fun.
And the scores for Thunderhawk, the girls gave it full marks, 5 out of 5, but the boys marked it down slightly for having less than perfect control, 4 out of 5 from them.
Bad Influence now presents the definitive A to Z guide of computers and computing, starting with A. Well, that's easy. A is for Andy, the young, immensely talented presenter of Bad Influence.
B stands for Boss, also known as end-of-level baddie. That's the big mean character in a game that always seems to get you just when you've nearly finished the level.
C is for console or computer. On a console, like the Mega Drive or the SNES, you can generally only play games, but on a computer, like the Atari ST here, you get software packages that let you run things like word processor, computer-aided design, or this, a paint package.
D is for disk. Compact, floppy, or hard. They all do the same thing, that is store information. The difference between them is how much information they can store. A floppy disk can hold as much information as half a telephone directory. An average hard disk, which is normally found installed inside a computer, can hold as much information as 100 telephone directories. And a compact disk can hold 5 times as much again.
E is for exclusive, something we do a lot on this programme, that is, show you things that you haven't seen anywhere else. Like this, Dragon's Revenge, the follow-up to the brilliant Mega Drive pinball game Dragon's Fury.
F stands for Fertler. That's someone who thinks there's nothing as much fun as tinkering with the innards of a computer. They tend to be rather badly dressed, like our chief techie Fertler, Matthew.
G is for graphics, an easy one this. Graphics are just any picture that you see on the screen.
H is for hardware, the opposite of software. Hardware is any machine on which you can run a program or play a game, like a computer or a console. Software is the actual games and programs that you run on it. Oh, and not forgetting wetware. That's what Fertlers, in a pathetic attempt at humour, call their brains.
I is for interactive, the new buzzword in computing that doesn't really mean anything.
J is for joysticks and joypads. Both do the same thing. They let you control a character or an object on screen. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from this joypad to this joystick.
K is for kilobits. Kilo means 1,000, as in kilometre or kilogram. So kilobits is 1,000 bits of information. You need 8 bits of information to represent a number or a letter. So in a kilobit, you get about 125 letters or numbers, or about 3.5 entries in the phone book.
L is for level select. That's a series of letters or numbers, and when typed into a game means you can jump to a level rather than have to play things from the beginning. So here on Megalomania, I've got C, P, F, D, G, L, L, T, U, M, A, and that'll take me to the mother of all battles.
M is for motherboard, a bit of kit that looks like this. It's what we play early versions of games on, because they don't come to us in cartridges, they come on these chips. We plug the chips into the board, and then we plug the board straight into the console. Now, I'm having to use an adapter here, because we get the games so early sometimes that they're not even compatible with UK systems. This one, Clay Fight, is from Japan.
N is for Rood, a sad techie Fertler.
O is for obsolete. Sadly, in the world of computing, no sooner have you unpacked your Mega Hyper Cheetah entertainment drive system than they release another one for twice the price.
P is for PC, which literally stands for personal computer. It originally referred to a specific machine, which was made by the American computer company IBM.
Q is for QWERTY, the name given to the standard keyboard layouts that comes with every home computer. So the keyboard layout has been taken directly from typewriter keyboards and was designed this way so that the most popular letters wouldn't be near each other, because early typewriters were prone to jamming.
R is for reality, virtual or otherwise. Virtual reality is a name given to a new kind of game system in which you feel as if you're immersed in a whole new environment.
S is for sprite, which is the technical name for a block of points that move on the screen together as one, like Sonic or Luigi here.
T is for techie talk. That's when the diphthong ophthalmic paracetamol flanger doesn't interface with the turboclystrom gyro.
U is for user-friendly, which roughly translated means quite difficult to use, as opposed to non-user-friendly, which means totally impossible to use.
V is for vaporware. That's something that's promised by a manufacturer but never quite materialises. Like the Action Game Master, which is a SNES, a NES, a Master System, a Mega Drive, and it's portable, and I'm a monkey's uncle.
W is for Windows, which is a software system that lets you control your PC using a mouse and clicking on little graphics like these called icons.
X is for X-rated. Games companies are now beginning to give their games ratings like the movies. The latest game to get a rating is RoboCop vs Terminator. The box has got a 16 sticker on it.
Y is for yogurt, which is very bad for your computer if you spill some on it, so don't. Oops!
Z stands for Z Wright, our American correspondent. Z, the single letter Z, is his real name. His mum called him that because she decided he definitely was her last child.
The largest land mammal is the African elephant, which can weigh up to 7 tons. On a right-angled triangle, the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides.
Oh, phew! I thought I'd never stop knowing everything ever again. My final cheat for today is for Aliens 3 on the Mega Drive.
E equals MC squared.
Go to the options screen and then use Controller 2 and type in C, up, right, down, left, A, right, and down. Then use Controller 1 and start the game, like so. And if you want to skip levels...
E equals MC squared.
Simply pause the game, like so, and press C-A-B. And you'll be walked forward. Hey!
John Logie Baird invented the television in 1925. The famous poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, was written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The area of a circle is equal to pi times the square of the radius. Right, that is it.
It's out! I've done it! What a relief! Andy, Violet, would you like a go at my computer?
It's not likely, now. If you want to read the data blast, set your video recorder going now. Last week's competition prize was Sonic Spinball and a Mega Drive, and the competition question was, in what year was the Gunpowder Plot? The answer's 1605, and our winner, Simon Cushing from Norwich. Well done. 10 runners-up will receive Bad Influence T-shirts, and your names are going across the screen now.
This week's competition prize is a SNES and a whole bag full of Super Bomberman goodies, including the game and the multi-tap. The question is, what does SCUBA stand for? Phone in your answers on 0891 700 100. Calls will cost no more than 25p, but make sure you get permission first from whoever pays the phone bill. Lines will close at midnight on Monday.
And finally, has anyone ever told you that you play computer games for too long? Oh, come on, they must have done it one time or another. Well, now I'm sad to say the forces of dullness have a new secret weapon. It's called the moderator, and it will work on any system. Basically, what it does is control the amount of time you have to play the game. You see, I'll have to wait another half an hour now before I can continue with Castle of Illusion. What the moderator is basically an electronic time switch, and inside we've got the console's mains lead sealed in and some switches that control the on and off time periods. Be careful, though, it's not been approved by the console manufacturers, so if you're using your system with the moderator and it goes down the tubes, it might invalidate your guarantee. If you do what I've done and tamper with it, you'll be in big trouble because you can't get the seals back on again. There's also electronic jiggery-pokery inside, which will shut the whole system down if you start meddling with it. It seems a shame that parents who buy this can't trust their offspring to stop playing games when it's time to do their homework or when they've had enough. And the thing doesn't even tell you when it's about to shut the power off, so you can't save your game. I bet it won't be top of your Santa list, but there are some parents, I'm sure, who will shell out $49.99 when the thing is released later this month.
Be nice and dry, Andy.
Oh, what? No!
Bye.
Bye.